What's up everyone? Welcome to today's video where we're going to be breaking down the old adage of two birds with one stone. Now, what do I mean by that from a buying and reselling standpoint? Well, kind of exactly how it sounds. Sometimes one deal by itself, if you're having to travel, especially kind of a longer drive, might not be worth it. However, sometimes there's two good deals very close to each other. And if you can coordinate that pickup to be near the same time, not only are you saving yourself tons of time, there's something I find especially satisfying about seamless pickups. That's why I love ordering on apps like Chipotle. You walk in, you grab your food, and you're out of there. So this might be especially satisfying to me. Not only are you saving the time efficiency standpoint, you're saving tons of money on gas. And ultimately what we care about is making high profit per hour and just much less time spent when you're having to drive somewhere. I'll be honest, more often than not, I swear I'm cursed and I'll go pick something up about 30 minutes away, get home, and I find another good deal in that same location right afterwards. But when you can coordinate them together, it's that much more satisfying. And we're gonna go ahead and dive into our first pickup today. Just as a general reminder, these are the typical buying prices that we're looking for when we're looking for these good deals. These are the typical items and I'd say the most common, but think of this almost as your North Star and general guidelines for what to look for and what to sell for. Now, this first example that we're gonna dive into is actually not listed here. We'll touch on that right now. This was actually a Sunday evening. And I'm gonna be honest with you, the last thing I felt like doing was going and picking some things up. A precursor to this, I had been messaging someone the previous day about potentially picking up a rower on Monday because I worked up in that area and I could swing by on my way into the office. It would work out well. Unfortunately, they weren't available. They suggested Sunday night. This drive by itself, without the convenience of being right next to my work, wasn't worth it to me. I was only gonna make $80 to $100 on this rowing machine, 30-minute drive, 30 minutes back, an hour of my time. I didn't wanna do it. It was a Sunday evening, not my thing. However, this deal popped up with a bunch of Rogue dumbbells. Little side note, we could get into Rogue by itself, but Rogue is a pretty premium fitness brand. It has a lot of name and brand recognition. So when you see those for sale, it's worth a little more. And not only did it have these dumbbells, it also came with a Rogue barbell and some Rogue collars. All of this for $200. This guy also wanted to meet on Sunday night. He was actually heading out of town the next day. So he needed to meet up Sunday night and was also conveniently located right next to this rowing machine. So I reached out to the rowing machine man and said, hey, I could probably be up in that area Sunday night if you're still available. He had previously suggested Sunday as an opening for him. But again, it wasn't worth it just by itself. And so I told myself, if this guy responds, the rowing machine man, I'll do it. Then it's two trips, two birds with one stone. I can justify it. Maybe much to my dismay, or in this case, we'll do a profit breakdown later. I guess it's a good thing. I did end up driving up there. We met at a CVS for this first pickup with the Rogue dumbbells and barbell. The guy was very nice to meet me at a location that was a little closer and conveniently located right to go get the rowing machine. Loaded all these Rogue dumbbells up in my truck. And it was a 4-minute drive from the CVS to where the rowing machine was, which again, the convenience factor of that is so awesome. Went and picked up this rowing machine. As far as a profit breakdown for this first trip, let's look at that rowing machine because that's pretty easy. This looked like it was in fantastic condition. He agreed to sell it for $370, fantastic condition. It did have one of the older monitors on it. But again, the condition just made it worth it for this. I was slightly bummed when I got it home and I saw that it had over 1 million meters. And I know that sounds crazy because we're used to cars. And you hear 1 million meters or miles, it sounds crazy. But these Concept 2 rowers will run, I've had some that have like 15 million meters on them. So not so outlandish, but I will say, once it gets on the higher side of lifetime meters, buyers are definitely not as interested. Again, for $370, worth it. This ended up selling for $450. I had it listed for $475, but a guy came and he offered $450 once he got there, and I didn't really care. Again, this was the separate trip. If I had only gone for that, I probably would have been pretty firm on the $475. Now, this Rogue kind of bulk pickup, again, sometimes when you're picking up multiple items, you pick that one item where you're like, once I sell that, I'll be profitable. And that was the case with these Rogue dumbbells. These would retail for I think it was close to $600. Rogue has some crazy prices just for rubber hex-coated dumbbells. But someone ended up wanting them because they had all Rogue stuff in their gym. Score, good for me. Those sold for $280 with the rack. So right there, again, we're already in the green. That's $80 of profit. That Rogue Bella bar sold for $140. The Rogue clips that came with that barbell also sold for 25 bucks. There was one kettlebell that came with this too that sold for $20 as well. It was a 26-pound kettlebell. And there was an extra set of 15s, which sold for 20 bucks. All this Rogue equipment totaled up led to $285 in profit. Pretty awesome. This trip would have been worth it just by itself, but it's even more convenient when you can tack on $80 more with that rower pickup. So the total profit for this one trip was $355. And again, if we had just been getting that rowing machine and only made 80 bucks, probably not worth it, depending on how picky you are with your pickups. I've gotten to the point where I can't justify going out unless I'm making over $100, especially when it's a 30-minute drive, so an hour of my time. I'm just selective with what I'm picking up. But that's why it's nice when you can coordinate these two trips to make a great profit. So this was $355 in profit, about an hour and 10 minutes of drive time. And then probably, we're just gonna round up to 2 hours of time to unload everything, list all the items, and all of that fun jazz. Let's go ahead and break down trip number 2, and we're gonna go to a Saturday morning. I mentioned in the last video, I love Saturday morning pickups, and this is really for a multitude of reasons. I touched on some of the sort of relaxation aspects of it last time, but from a side hustle standpoint, if you think about it, Saturday mornings really make sense for what we're looking for. A lot of people have their day off on Saturday, they go into their garage, they see those weights that have been haunting them, their wife's been yelling at them. And they say, you know what, this is my time to shine, I'm gonna list these and get rid of them today. Make my wife's day. And that's what happened on one of these pickups. Oh, I had already coordinated a pickup of Bowflex 1090 adjustable dumbbells for $175. Fantastic deal. This was all the way out in West Phoenix. I hate driving to West Phoenix. I have to drive through downtown, which is always kind of a mess. Another great thing about Saturday mornings, you're usually beating that Saturday rush of people trying to get to downtown Phoenix. And prior to heading out to pick up these Bowflex dumbbells, I checked Facebook Marketplace. I happened to stumble upon this listing for an entire gym. Looks like it comes with a squat rack, a full set of weights, a weight tree, and a barbell. All of this for $150. So you know what I'm thinking. This is gonna be a great profit. And it's right on the way back from West Phoenix, just down, tucked into a little neighborhood, just off a different freeway. So in the same area. So I immediately messaged and said I could pick up right away because I'm already headed out that direction. Love it. It's like a serotonin release for me. So we drove through West Phoenix. Not my favorite drive. But again, doing this a little earlier in the day, usually you're going to avoid that traffic that's going to give you a headache. So I cruised right out there. It was a nice, relaxing drive. Put on a little podcast, make a few calls. It's all relaxing and kind of nice. Another reason why I don't mind this side hustle. What's great about the singular pickups, I know they're not the most profitable. And when I say singular pickups, I mean a singular item like Bowflex dumbbells. It's just one thing. What's great about that is one person is going to come pick them up. You're not having to split things up. Generally, the profit isn't as great. In this case, though, they were so cheap, it was a pretty good profit. I listed these for $450, almost with the expectation that someone would offer $400. And that is exactly what happened. The next day, someone said $400 cash, I can pick up tomorrow, boom, boom, done. That is $225 of profit, just like that. Really easy, not a lot of thinking involved there. Just make a quick sale. Now, I could probably get a little greedy and sit on that item and wait to get that $450. And I probably could, but sometimes it's just nice to get that instant profit. The difference from $225 profit to $275, although that would add up over time, I get that. Something about just getting rid of it is just nice. So this next one is a bulk gym breakdown. We did that in the last 2 videos. That was a 2-parter. So again, a lot of this, you have so many different items in this pickup here, and you can kind of sell one thing and you're already profitable. In this case, there was a 255-pound fitness gear Olympic weight set. I sold that for $200. Just an easy, quick sale. We paid $150 for everything. We are already in the green, which is awesome. There was also kind of this adjustable bench, pretty ugly, sort of beat up, but actually pretty functional, worked really well. Sold that for $60. Then came that squat rack, which was, anytime a squat rack has a pull-up bar included, I feel like that boosts the value. This one also came apart in the center really easily, which makes it just convenient to pick up and also sell. A lot of buyers are limited by the vehicle that they have that they're coming with. This sold for an additional $100. Rusty barbell sold for 40 bucks. That's generally my price when I have a rusted 7-foot barbell. Unless it's like completely like ruined, If there's just a bit of rust on it, a lot of people like that as a restoration project. 40 bucks is a fair price for that. And then lastly, we had that Olympic weight tree that sold for 40 additional dollars as well, bringing us to a grand total of $290 for that bulk gym pickup. And let's go ahead and add in that 225, and we are at $515. Now in this example, the first example, probably not worth it just to go get that rowing machine. But in this example, both those pickups, even on a solo trip, would have been worth it. But the fact that you're combining them and saving an hour of your time, that's roughly how long the drive was, it makes it that much more worth it, that much more of a win. As far as the time devotion, 30-minute drive, then 15 more minutes to get to the other location. We'll round up to an hour and a half. It took me 10 minutes to unload all the weights. My dad was actually in town and he helped me unload them. It's always helpful having two hands, but either way, probably would have taken 10, 15 minutes max. And it's kind of nice getting some extra movement in throughout the day. I don't know about you guys, but I am guilty of sitting on the couch too much, binging TV shows. Although, since I have a kid now, that is much less the case. Now I'm busy with my child a lot of the time. So all in all, this was a really nice win. And again, Saturday mornings, I'm back to the house by 9:30 a.m. I get to spend the rest of the day with my family. And it's kind of nice. You're almost sitting there knowing it's like, this is gonna net $500 of profit. You might not know the exact amount, but you can, once you get pretty good at pricing things out, you can ballpark it and you're like, we just made $400 to kick off our Saturday. Then you can go on a date night or something. Although with a kid, that is a little difficult. We love those wins like that. So in total, we are at $870 of profit between these two trips, or I should say 4 trips. I guess it was kind of 2 pickups per trip. And we'll say it was about 5 hours of time. That's including drive time, unloading, and all of those fun additional things. Let's go ahead and just say you picked up one of the items per both of these trips. So we're gonna subtract the rowing machine because that was the lowest profit. That was definitely the example where it's like, I'm only getting this because I'm already in the area. And then let's subtract that bulk gym pickup. Let's say I didn't look on Facebook Marketplace that day and I just did what I planned and went and picked up those Bowflex dumbbells. So we're subtracting $290 from that bulk gym pickup and $80 from the rower. That would give us a profit of $500. We'll still say it was about 5 hours work, very similar drive times there. It would cut down a bit there, but it's a pretty significant dip in profit if you didn't look and try to coordinate these extra pickups. So that was kind of the goal of today's video. Might seem like common sense, but just do your best when you're picking things up to always check and see if there's anything else in that area. Sometimes I'll have items saved like that rowing machine that might not sell right away, but I have it in the back of my mind. And I'm like, if I'm up there, it's worth it, but it's not worth it just by itself. I hope you all enjoyed today's video. We have crossed that 100 subscriber threshold. So first and foremost, just thank you so much for subscribing. I hope you're enjoying the content. I hope you're learning. I hope maybe you're going and trying to pick up some gym equipment. Looking forward to seeing you guys next week. Until then, peace.